Okay, so got a lot done. This piece here, it's not bolted down tight. I might need to put a little bit more. I do probably need to put a little more spacer between this and this. What I'm going to do is get a piece of like 1/8 inch steel and put some slots in it and just basically put it between this board and that on both sides, which will take up the space. This fits the barrel exactly. I'll have to cut those down, to the right length, which is no big deal. And there's some lag bolts that need to go on the bottom. But basically, that is now mounted to the axle housing. So that's a major step. Actually, if you just put the barrel on it and you put a cross brace across it, you can freaking use it just like this. Just for firing anyway. Again, I got the two handles right there, 1, 2. Okay. There's a couple of wheel guards that go over here, which I can make out of that right there, that stuff, just 4x4 and round out the corners. This piece is going to go on here when I figure out that this has got to go maybe 2 inches shorter or whatever. It's got to fit in the back of the El Camino. So I'm not going to bolt that on till that happens. And this piece, since this is so skinny, this is supposed to be this skinny on the end. It's supposed to taper down. I didn't do that because it's more freaking work. It's freaking enough work as it is, man. Believe me. It's freaking way harder doing this shit, especially by yourself and not having any kind of woodworking shop or metal shop or anything. That piece, this here, I'm going to put this over this right here, then this will bolt on this, so it'll look like one big piece of steel, all on the bottom and on the top, so it'll look symmetrical. So it's not going to look like there's a narrow piece bolted to that thing on the end, so it'll just look right. The only other piece I got to get, I got to do the ramps, and I might just buy the freaking what do you call it, the elevation screw, even though it's a freaking ripoff. So that'll put this thing around $2,200. Still not that bad. Because I'm going to use this scaffolding jack. Probably I'm going to make a press out of it. I got some other steel over here. I can make like a square or a rectangular thing, and I can use that scaffolding jack like a press for knocking out bearings and stuff. So I can make a tool out of it for $200 tool out of it for like $30. So it's getting there, man. It's getting there. Right now, you look at it. I mean, yeah, that's just laying on there, top of there. But you look at it, and it's not on the ground. You look at it, it looks like a cannon carriage, right? Or less. I mean, yeah, these got to be. I got the cutoff wheel right here. I got to cut them off to the right length. I got to cut these off. The barrel fits in there perfect. So, I guess, with the ramps and the elevation screw, and if this is the right length, I could put this piece on here. That won't take long if this is the right length. I got to have to get it in the back of the El Camino, though, to see if, it fits. That's the thing. So, that's how, you put some touch-up paint on there and stuff. And these things, I made the axle straps with these hooks on the end. I figured to hang the bucket off of there or some crap or something. I don't know. It's not supposed to be like that, but who cares? The hell? Who cares what it's supposed to be like? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think a lot of these people doing this stuff back then. I mean, right now, you look at them, they're triple epoxy. They're primed, they're triple epoxy coated, they're got the best linseed oil on them. They're made the exact specifications per plans. I got a feeling like there's so many freaking makeshift repairs on these cannon carriages that none of them look like stock, And this isn't cockeyed. This wheel's a little lower. It might, this thing could be a little bit off somehow, one way or another. Well, it is a little lower on that side, so it looks like it's that way. But who gives a shit, Really, who cares? It's freaking good enough, man. So, no enthusiasm in the SUV camps too much, so I can tell you that right now. Not a lot. Not a lot, man. I can tell you right now. Got to get some new blood in here, man. We got to get some blood that next time they tell you there's going to shut down, that we have meetings and we have events anyway in defiance of the stupid government. That's a real rebel right there, man. I know they're freaking getting all worried about what they're going to look like and shit. But, you know, not to stick your neck out too far, but it really, government can't tell you what the hell to do. It's a bunch of bullshit. What the hell is it? What is this shit? New World Order or something? You know? And these are, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, I just put an 1/8 inch piece behind this, between here and there on both sides, with a slot that goes down in there. And I tighten the bolts down. That'll be nice and tight. Put the lag bolts down on the bottom. And it'll be solid. It'll be solid. Now it's looking like something, you know. But I got a lot more work on it, man. I still got a lot more piddly shit to do. I even got to make the thing to make the black powder charges. There's like a little, you got to make a little canister to put the 4 ounces in, and you wrap the aluminum around it, and you got like a little, looks like a little aluminum can. You would slide it in there in the barrel. Still a lot more bullshit, and I've never fired it, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing exactly, you know. I mean, I've reloaded lots of ammo. I mean, I was in the freaking Marine Corps for 13 years. I loaded my own ammo. I've got a lot of experience with regular guns. Not only experience with this kind of stuff, but I'm wary. I mean, even though it fires blanks, man, you better be clearing the area for hundreds of yards in front of you. I know about that. Even though you're firing blanks, man. And you want to have it pointed up, too. You don't want to have it straight out. Because, I mean, not straight up, but I mean, like on an angle. So it's not, you know, it's going to go over. If something was in front of the cannon by accident, it would go over it. So the concussion blast. It's not a toy. That's what it is. Even if you're firing blanks, it's not a toy. And, you know, I'm not sure if this is all hunky-dory, perfectly straight, but screw it. It'll be all right. Pretty happy with it, man. It's looking like a cannon carriage now. I mean, there's still, like I said, I got to cut. I'm going to see if I got more steel back in there. That some of that thick stuff like that. I don't know, maybe I'll order some 2-inch by 1/8. Maybe I'll probably just order some. And, you know, I'll make a piece like this long, like that, right there, with a couple, 3 slots in it, and just slide it in behind this. I'll give it some space. And, you know, actually, it's going to be pretty heavy duty, so it ain't going to go nowhere. I made, you know, that center strap on the bottom is freaking, that's a pretty good center strap. It's like got a big T on it and stuff. It's 4 inches wide, 1/4 inch thick. Plus the axle straps are doubled up. It's pretty good. It's got a bunch of lag bolts in there and stuff. And then I got truck bed lining inside all the holes where the lag bolts go. So I ain't sure with all this, you know, ain't sure about everything on it, but it'll be, you know, go around with some paint, you know, black paint to get around the rings here and stuff. And, you know, right now, this was a pain in the ass putting this stupid piece on here, even though it was lined up when I went to do it. One of them wasn't really lined up perfect, man. I don't know why, but it was still more pain in the ass. It was more of a pain in the ass just to put this piece on here than you freaking think, man. It took me freaking 3 hours screwing around just getting that on there. That's how long. It's like everything you're doing on this thing is taking me way longer than I thought. It's a bitch and a half. But right now I'm looking at it. I'm really at the end of the tunnel, light at the end of the tunnel. And to get the barrel on top of here, I got an engine hoist with a bunch of ropes. I can just lift it up off the trailer and just lower it on there. But I'm not going to do that until I make sure everything fits in the El Camino. And yeah, I guess the only other big thing, the 2 other big things, is the elevation screw and the ramps. Because this, I just got to make a couple spacers for the side here. That takes some time, but it's simple stuff. put some lag bolts in the bottom. There's like 4 lag bolts or something, 3 or 4 lag bolts across the bottom. And cut these down, put the bolts on them. If it's measured out, if everything measures out okay, the trailer hitch will go right on there. And putting the handles on and just putting some screws on it, painting them and putting some screws down there, and then doing the wheel guards. They'll be easy to make too. They take some time, but everything else is not going to be that hard except for making the ramps and doing the elevation screw. And then maybe that isn't even going to be that hard too, because the ramps I could see how I already know how to make them, just that they might weigh a ton. But man, I can see why people don't get cannons, man. These freaking things. If you get a cannon, even this little mountain howitzer, it's not that small. This weighs, I think the barrel weighs like 275 or something like that. And I don't know, it's more than, I think it's between 550, 600 pounds total. And this is, this is not a big cannon by any means, man. It's a little wider, and the wheels are a little taller than stock. The wheels are supposed to be 38 inches to 42 inches. 42 inches is called the Prairie version. This is these are 44-inch wheels. It's a little wider. That box is a little bit bigger. The axle housing box is a little bit bigger. The trail is a little bit wider, a little bit beefier. But to tell you the truth, it looks a little bit better like this, even though somebody will say, it's not perfect or nothing by any means, but it doesn't look bad. Right now, I was cussing this thing out an hour ago. Believe me, this thing was pissing me off. I just couldn't figure out why this last thing wouldn't line up. Finally just took the drill and drilled it out a little more. Bunch of paint. It was a pain in the ass. It took me 3 hours to put that stupid thing on there, but now it's on there. So we're just going to put, like I said, a couple more spacer plates in there. They won't be that hard to make. And cut those down, put the nuts on there, put the lag bolts in there. It's getting there, man. It is really getting there now. So over and out. That's all I have to say about it, man. It really is something. If I did this again, I would not do these stupid rondelle things, whatever the hell they're supposed. You're supposed to do those because they're like adjusters in case different cannons have different sizes. I would just use a freaking long piece of plate and put like notches in it that just slide down over like that. Just do it like that. I wouldn't even bother, because that was a pain in the ass lining up those freaking rondelles, man. They're a pain in the ass. And they're still not the way they're supposed to be exactly. None of this is exactly the way it's supposed to be. But it's going to work. That's the way it is.